guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are at Gym Unity in Burton, which is an awesome gym, so you'll get to have a look around in here. We are now 3 weeks out from my first show, and just a little update of where things are at and how things are going. So at this point I must say that I'm getting pretty close now to being ready for the stage. What comes with that is the last few weeks since the last video, energy levels have definitely been a lot lower than normal. But it's been just a period of time of just pushing through it and getting into the condition that I want to bring to the stage in a few weeks' time. I did talk a little bit on the last video as well about how I was feeling in terms of a bit of self-doubt and just questioning myself, questioning all the sacrifices I'm making, just because I've got big goals for this year and the things that I want to achieve. But I must say, since that video, I've started to feel a lot better. So at this point in the prep, I am really just getting really excited now. So I'm really excited for this show coming up with WNBF. And that excitement is really just carrying me through now. So a lot happier in myself, a lot more excited, and I'm just pinching myself every day with everything that I've got coming up and how much I'm looking forward to it. We're going to get into this session, and what I want to do today is also give a couple of tips on how to, first of all, maintain strength and how to maintain size during your prep if you are dieting. And then after that, we'll have a little run through of what my diet is at the moment, and then the plans that I've got coming up for the next few weeks, both in terms of my prep and also for this video series. So I'm ready to get into it, so let's go. So another little update. I've got my old logbook back. So now I've got my old numbers and the new book. So I left it at a gym. My friend trains at that gym. He managed to get it back for me. So 3 weeks out from the show, one thing that I've been really happy with this prep is I've lost no strength up until this point. So I've been dieting for a few months now. I've got 3 weeks to go. Body fat is real low, but strength has not dropped one bit. So I really wanted to share with you that that is important during a prep, and also that it is possible to do. So tip number one to make sure that you can do this is to log all of your sessions. So this book becomes everything. If you've got the numbers written down, you know what they are, then it comes a point when the energy is low and you're coming into the gym, it's there, it's set, you know what you're doing, and you just crack on with it. So second tip to maintaining size and strength during a prep is to have a productive off season. So time before your prep should be spent building strength and size. So a stronger muscle will end up being a bigger muscle. So if that phase is productive, it becomes easier during the prep. Literally the training plan I'm on now has been literally the same for the past year since the start of my off season. I'm just carrying it all the way through to my show. So have a productive off season, and that will stand you in good stead to be able to be efficient through your prep at maintaining your strength and size. Go a little bit heavier. So moving on to the third exercise now of this back session. But the third tip for having a productive prep in terms of your strength is your selection of rep ranges and also your exercise selection. So first of all, in terms of rep ranges, I keep that the same as I've explained on previous videos. I'll do a loading set and a back off set. So I'm still lifting heavy. I'm not doing light weights all through my session, which some people tend to go to when they're dieting. Keep the sets heavy. That's what's going to keep the muscle. Second of all, your exercise selection. So I'm very meticulous in what exercises I use. That's why I like to get around to different gyms, because I like nice machines through prep. I don't always want to be doing like dumbbell presses, which demand a lot, getting weights up and stuff. So I'll favour exercises which I know will be productive during a prep when my joints aren't as well protected and stuff like that. So get your exercise selection right, get your rep ranges nice and heavy, and keep sticking with that. Moving on to the fourth exercise, I'm going to do this underhand row machine. Feels really nice. But the fourth tip to staying strong during your prep is you really just want to be in a slight calorie deficit. So again, this goes back to having everything set up through your off season. So the amount of food you're eating and also the amount of output you're doing, whether it's your training or the amount of steps you're doing each day. So if you've got all of that nailed at the beginning of your prep, it should then become easier to stay in a slight calorie deficit. So what I mean by that is you don't want to be eating so little food and dropping weight really fast to the point where you're not fueling your sessions. You really need to get the balance between eating enough to fuel the workouts and then just being in a slight deficit so that you're dropping weight slowly during your prep. So I have that set at the beginning of the prep, and then each time I need to change something just to keep things moving, it will just be a little either increasing cardio or steps, or a little decrease in food. So you've got it set, and it's just a slow, steady drop throughout the prep. I did say at the beginning of this series how I was a lot leaner at my starting point going into this prep, and that has been very, very beneficial this time around, because like I say, I haven't had to drop rapid amount of weight each week, and I've just been able to maintain that slight deficit and stay strong. On the fifth exercise now, so I'm doing a overhand row, nice and wide. But the fifth and final tip for staying strong during your prep, and probably the most underrated and the one that I hear spoke about the least. But what I do is I track my sleep, and I find this so important. I've literally had days where I'm like, wow, I feel strong today. And then I'll check on the app how my night's sleep was, and I've had a really good night's sleep. I really think it makes more difference than people realize. So if you can, track your sleep, and I literally become OCD with it. So if I see one night I've not had a good sleep, or maybe 2 nights in a row, I'll then become very conscious, right, I need to catch up on some sleep. You're gonna get tired during a prep, you're gonna get really low on energy. So if you can stay on top of your sleep, it is gonna be a massive help, and it is so important. Doing some rear delts now before we move on to biceps to finish this workout. Another tip I'll give to your prep for anyone doing shows is basically at this point in the prep, obviously not far from the show, what I like to do between sets towards the end of the workout is just keep hitting a few poses. It's going to help you when you step on stage and just to see how you're doing in terms of pump and fullness and all that kind of stuff, see where the details are coming through. I mean, you might get a few strange looks while you're posing in the mirror and stuff, but who cares? We've got a show to win. So workout's all done. They've actually got a new posing room here, so I'm going to give this a go. Go in there, hit a few poses. I mean, at this point, I'm not really too interested in showing where I'm at. Let's hold a little bit back now. Got 3 weeks till the show, and all that matters is now how I look on the day, so that will be revealed. But if you just look on the wall there, it's basically saying what I've said in previous videos. Posing is important, so make sure you get it done. So another workout all done, pull day done here at Gym Unity, posing done there to finish. I've actually got a little bit of cardio to go, which I'm going to talk through now, so I'm going to let you know basically where I'm at in terms of my diet and my output in terms of cardio and steps. So basically at the beginning of this prep, probably weighed about 75 kilos, and I started off with the prep with macros, so protein was at 220, carbs were at 300, fats were at 55 on a training day. At this point, like I've said in this video, I've made steady drops throughout that time and increased the output. So at this point in the prep, it's time to really dig in, so the output is now quite high, and that is something you're going to have to get your head around if you want to bring condition. Especially as someone that's natural, I mean, you are going to have to stick to the principles I've said in terms of your training to retain size, and then dig deep in terms of bringing condition. So my food at the moment on a training day is 220 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs and 45 grams of fat now, so you can see the difference in the drop. What I'll actually do is write my meal plan below in the description for this video, so you can actually have a look at what my meals are. In terms of output at this point, my steps are ridiculously high and have been for a few weeks, so I'm doing 20,000 a day. On top of that, I'm doing 40 minutes of direct cardio on the machine, so that's either split into 20 minutes first thing in the morning before I go for a morning walk, which is included in the steps, and then 20 minutes on the stairs post-workout, which I'm about to do right now. Thanks for watching the video once again. There's plenty more to come in the coming weeks, as I've said before, because now the shows are coming around, so I will be doing more than one show. There will be multiple shows. First one in a few weeks. The next video we're going to film will be an interesting one for those that are interested in this kind of thing. So I will be sharing my full peak week. This is something that I feel a lot of people get wrong. So it is something that I definitely want to share to help guys that want to compete and want to compete natural, because I feel like the principles in a peak for someone that's natural are a lot more simple than people realise. But we're going to go through that in the next video. So if that's something you're interested in and want to see my show day video coming up after that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Once again, a massive thank you to Peter for joining me with the camera today, and he'll be here for the next one and the show day as well, so it's exciting times ahead. Big thank you also again to USN, who are keeping me fueled during this prep. That pre-workout I took before I trained is definitely a massive help at this point, and you'll see in the description below on my diet plan the products that I use as well. So stay tuned guys, give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks, ready for peak week, and we will be ready for that first show of this season.